Listen, too many trans women have came out to out his ass, okay? At this point, this man is bisexual. I'm not taking no less. I'm not hearing nothing else. I'm not accepting nothing else or nothing less. This man is bisexual. It is what it is. This ain't allegedly. I've been talking to crack for years, and his story has not changed at all. Okay?
What's up with you and 50?
Taking off the account.
You said what?
Taking off the account.
What's up with you and 50?
Taking off the account.
What you mean take you off the camera, bro?
Taking off the account.
So he said you is that true?
Hold on, boy.
Oh no, we about to scrap. Is that true?
Nah, we gonna do no scrap.
Yeah, I got something in the car too.
The home once owned by rap artist Young Buck is up for sale.
The neighbors told us, they said, we have a rapper. And I thought, oh my gosh, I bet it's going to be boom, boom.
When G-Unit exploded onto the scene, they were a force of nature, riding the massive wave of 50 Cent's unstoppable rise. The crew rolled in tight, unshakable, fearless, ready to dominate anyone who dared step in their path. Among them, Young Buck immediately grabbed the spotlight. Grateful beyond words to 50 for the opportunity, he wasted zero time proving he belonged at the top. His debut album didn't just hit. It smashed, going platinum and cementing his place in the game. In that moment, Buck felt untouchable, like nothing could knock him off his throne. But then, the world shifted. A messy, public fallout with 50 Cent sent Buck careening into a spiral that seemed impossible to stop. From one of the most respected figures in hip-hop, he became the guy the industry...
You have time? Pull up your Instagram real quick. Let me show you something. I want you to type in Young Buck is a LGBT member is the name of the page. Can I see it? No? Type it in the comments. Young Buck is a LGBT member is the name of the IG page.
Check this out real quick. Let me go on and address this real fast real quick. Ain't shit gay about me. I ain't got a problem with no gay people. Whatever the fuck you niggas thought you seen on the tape, nigga, that ain't no motherfucking tape with no motherfucking punks fucking my dick. But for you ass or cook up in particular, since you want to jump on the Instagram and play all these old gangsta ass roles like you that, Jack, why don't you just pull up and keep that same energy, nigga? You give me the location, I'll give you the location. Keep that same energy and say all this old hoe ass that you want to say on the gram. Say it to my face. We can do it on the live too. This what you want? You suck. Come get the real energy though, cause you know what's up.
Quietly began to sideline. Questions started circulating everywhere. Is Young Buck even the same Buck we knew? The swagger, the confidence, the dominance, it all started to look like a thing of the past. Things got messy, fast.
The home once owned by rap artist Young Buck is up for sale.
The neighbors told us, they said, we have a rapper. And I thought, oh my gosh, I bet it's going to be boom, boom, boom.
Neighbors say Buck, whose real name is David Brown, was a family man, nothing like the image in music videos.
I'm going to have to show y'all how to party. We could not even hear you guys. And they were all in the backyard. And he says, you know, we try to respect our neighbors.
The house, valued at $350,000, was raided by the IRS as payment for $300,000 in back taxes. Many of the items seized, including Buck's 615 chain, expensive watches, recording equipment, artwork, and a Titan soda machine, will hit the auction block.
I think his managing people are the one that really got him in trouble.
Controversy clung to Buck like a shadow he couldn't shake, following him everywhere he went. Every attempt to explain, defend himself, or set the record straight seemed to blow up in his face instead. Nothing landed the way he planned, and the backlash only kept piling higher. The scrutiny, the rumors, the industry whispers, it all became a storm he couldn't escape. What makes it even crazier is where it all started. Just a raw, hungry 14-year-old with a natural gift for freestyling and spitting bars that could stop a room. Getting signed to G-Unit? That was like hitting the rap lottery. From the moment he stepped in, Buck was ready to prove he belonged, and he brought the heat. He was a southern storm in G-Unit, a wave of gritty slang, hard-hitting beats, and an unmistakable down-south flavor that gave the crew a whole new vibe. Young Buck wasn't just another member. He was a spark that took the movement to another level. While others stayed in their lane, he reached out, connecting with heavy hitters like Ludacris and T.I., injecting G-Unit with that raw southern energy they'd been missing. Consistency was his game, too. Even when others went quiet, Buck kept dropping tracks, holding it down like the backbone of the crew. But
What's up with you and 50?
Taking off the camera, buddy.
You said what?
Taking off the camera.
What's up with you and 50?
Taking off the camera.
What you mean take you off the camera, bro?
Taking off. You didn't want to be before.
So he said you is that true?
somewhere along the line, things started sliding. Decisions that didn't make sense, moves that backfired, it all began to crumble. No matter what he tried, the peaks he once rode seemed unreachable. The worst hit? Losing respect. From day one fans, from peers, from the very people who had once called him brother. So, how did young Buck go from the top of G-Unit to questioning his place in the game? Let's rewind and break it all down. Back in Nashville, young Buck was just a raw teen, spitting freestyle with his boys and battling anyone bold enough to step up. That's how he first started carving a name for himself in the local scene. Then one day, he and his friend Lil Jimmy stumbled across a CD from BG, who was signed to Cash Money Records. The CD, Chopper City, had a phone number printed on the back. Without thinking twice, Buck and Jimmy picked up the phone, called, and told Cash Money they had $5,000 ready to book a show in Nashville. Shockingly, Cash Money said yes and showed up, but the show? It never happened. Instead, Buck found himself face-to-face with the entire Cash Money crew. Birdman was first to speak, telling Buck to spit. And Buck didn't hold back. He jumped into a freestyle battle with Lil Wayne, trading bars like a seasoned pro. Birdman was stunned, impressed beyond words. He saw something special in the 14-year-old from Nashville and decided to take him under his wing. Just like that, Buck was headed to New Orleans, dreaming of signing with Cash Money. It was 1995, and Buck went all in, dropping out of school to chase music full-time. But Cash Money wasn't the powerhouse it is today. Birdman was still hustling to get his crew to pop, and Buck quickly realized that the empire he joined wasn't ready to lift him. He spent 3, maybe 4 years grinding with Cash Money, but not a single track of his was released. Meanwhile, Lil Wayne, Juvenile, and BG were soaring, and Buck was left hungry, frustrated, and invisible despite all his talent. The only real trace of his time there, a cameo in the Big Times Big Ballin' music video. By 1999, Buck had had enough. He walked away from Cash Money, determined to make it on his own terms. But those years weren't wasted. They taught him the game, who to trust, who to watch, and how the music industry really moved. He also made connections that would pay off later, like DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia and even Juvenile, who remembered him and helped down the line. Back in Nashville, Buck linked up with his local circle, including a rapper named Day. Together, they dropped the independent project Thug, till the end on August 22, 2000. The project actually made noise, charting at number 34 on the U.S. R&B charts and number 17 on the U.S. Independent Albums chart, moving around 10,000 copies. That street-level success proved to Buck that music could be his real hustle. But even with his music grind picking up, one foot was still in the streets. Then it all changed in an instant. A home invasion left Buck short multiple times, forcing him to confront his life and choices. That moment was a hard turning point. He made a decision right then and there. The streets were over. From that day forward, it was music or nothing. Buck went all in, and nothing would stop him from chasing that dream. After the home invasion, after getting shot, Buck knew it was time to leave the streets behind. That near-death moment changed everything. He took a ride with Juvenile, and that's where the real music journey began. Word about the shooting spread fast, and DJ Paul from 3 6 Mafia reached out. Paul remembered Buck from the Cash Money days and hadn't forgotten his talent. He hit up Project Pat and told him to scoop Buck from Nashville and bring him down to Memphis. Once in Memphis, Buck hit the studio hard. He laid down several tracks, and one of them, Memphis, ended up on 3 6 Mafia's album When the Smoke Clears 666. It was a solid look and a perfect introduction for Buck, showing the streets and the industry he meant business. But despite the buzz, he never signed with 3-6 Mafia. Instead, Buck returned to Nashville, grinding as an independent artist, keeping the streets buzzing about him, and again catching Birdman's attention. Birdman called Buck about a new crew he was forming called Headbusters and wanted him on board. Buck flew back to New Orleans, stepping into a world of luxury, fancy offices, sleek cars, and cash money clearly on another level. But after a week of waiting around with no contract, Buck felt played again. He was older, wiser, and knew when things weren't right. That's when Juvenile appeared with a game-changing offer: join his UTP label and start fresh. Buck didn't sign the UTP contract immediately. He literally shoved it under his bed, never putting pen to paper. Technically, he wasn't officially signed, but that didn't stop him from dropping 2 major projects with UTP, Born to be a Thug on October 10th, 2002, and a compilation with the UTP crew released just 2 days earlier. Behind the scenes, though, he started noticing Juvenile's own battles with Cash Money. At one point, Juvenile told him, if a better opportunity comes along, take it. And that opportunity came sooner than expected. During a tour stop in New York in 2002, 50 Cent had the city on fire with the biggest buzz in the game. By chance, their bus driver had a connection to 50's former manager, Sean Money XL. Buck relentlessly pushed the driver, insisting, "Yo, get 50 on this bus." Eventually, it worked, but 50 was only there to record with Juvenile. Buck didn't waste time. He played his solo tracks for Lloyd Banks and Tony Yao up front. One track caught Banks' ear, who immediately took it to 50. 50 Cent loved the record. That track would later become Bloodhound on the Get Rich or Die Trying album. Seeing Buck's talent firsthand, 50 knew this was a huge opportunity. But there was one catch. Buck wasn't signed anywhere yet, and 50 didn't want any label drama. Once things with UTP blew up, 50 reached out directly. He offered $20,000 for the Bloodhound track and included it on the album mixed by Eminem and Dr. Dre. Then came the ultimate move. 50 wanted Buck flown out to LA to meet him, Eminem, and Dre, making it official. That was Buck's first massive splash with G-Unit. Not a solo project yet, but his feature on one of the hottest albums in hip-hop history immediately put him on the map. To kick things off, 50 Cent made a power move, dropping a full G-Unit group album, Beg for Mercy. This wasn't just another crew release. It was Young Buck's official introduction to the world, and man, it hit hard. The album exploded, debuting at number 2 on the Billboard 200 and moving a staggering 377,000 copies in its first week alone. Over time, it pushed past 2.7 million copies in the U.S., and worldwide, it was creeping toward diamond status. Buck was now officially in the spotlight, ready to launch his solo career. By 2004, Buck was locked in, eyes on his debut. But G-Unit kept building that street buzz like only they could. On May 31st, 2004, Buck dropped the mixtape Welcome to the Hood, hosted by DJ Wu-Kid under the G-Unit stamp, and the streets felt the heat. Then came summer, and Buck officially entered the solo game. On July 2nd, he released his first single, Let Me In, featuring 50 Cent. The track immediately caught fire, climbing to number 34 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was only the warm-up. On August 24, 2004, Buck dropped his debut album, Straight Outta Cashville. It debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200, moving 361,000 copies in week 1. Eventually, it went platinum, cementing Buck as more than just a G-Unit affiliate. He was a star in his own right. 2 days later, August 26, his second single, Shorty Wanna Ride, hit the streets. That one became his highest charting solo single, peaking at number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100. Buck was on fire, dominating both the streets and the charts. But just as things were rising, chaos struck. On November 15, 2004, at the Vibe Awards, a night packed with Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, and the whole G-Unit squad, things turned violent. Suge Knight was in the building. Out of nowhere, a man named Jimmy James Johnson allegedly swung on Dr. Dre, and Buck allegedly stabbed him right there at the event. The aftermath? Buck went on the run. A few days later, he turned himself in. The legal battle dragged on for a year and a half. In the end, he walked away with 3 years probation and 80 hours of community service. In 2005, Buck didn't drop a new solo album, but he stayed busy. He appeared on features, held down G-Unit tracks, and released an independent project to promote upcoming artists. Behind the scenes, 50 Cent expanded the empire, giving Buck control of G-Unit South, a major power move. Buck kept the streets fed with fire mixtapes, but tensions within G-Unit were brewing. 50 Cent and his longtime manager, Show Money XL, started clashing over money and control. 50 ordered, get new management. Most followed. But Buck stayed loyal to Shaw, and that loyalty came at a steep price. Things worsened when 50 accused Buck of cozying up to rivals like The Game, Jadakiss, Fat Joe, and Jim Jones. According to 50, Buck wasn't just disloyal, he was reckless. To make matters worse, Buck's spending caught the IRS's attention. 50 stepped in twice to cover Buck's taxes, but the third slip was too much. While performing solo, the street started questioning, is Buck even G-Unit anymore? Publicly, Buck said he was still loyal. Behind the scenes, he hadn't spoken to 50 in 8 months. Show Money eventually told Buck to swallow his pride and make the call. He did. They finally talked, trying to patch things up. As Buck pushed forward, he shifted focus to Cashville Records over G-Unit South. He swapped out G-Unit gear for his own 10-key brand, fueling big rumors. Fans and industry insiders alike began asking if Buck was even part of G-Unit anymore. Then in January 2008, things got wild. On stage with Lil Wayne and Birdman, Buck hinted at a potential move to Young Money Cash Money. And he didn't shut it down. He smiled, nodded, and that silence said it all. The streets noticed this was a man ready to carve his own path. 50 Cent wasn't feeling it. Then in February 2008, G-Unit dropped a new mixtape, Return of the Body Snatchers Volume 1. Fans were hyped, but confusion spread fast. Buck was nowhere to be found, even though he had just appeared on a recent group track. Whispers started circulating heavy. Was Buck getting iced out? By March, things escalated. Buck and 50 had a private call to clear the air, but Buck had no idea it was being recorded the whole time. Even though they smoothed things over, the trust was already cracking. Boom. A few weeks later, on March 20th, 2008, a bombshell interview hit Euraps magazine. Buck claimed he had never been paid royalties from 50 or G-Unit Records. His words were blunt. I'm still waiting on a royalty check. Period. I've never seen a royalty check since I signed with G-Unit. So hell yeah, I'll tell you one damn thing. The statement exploded online. Fans immediately took sides.